And we're gonna run it from the top before I get frustrated. Welcome to Shop Talk. Today we about to talk about why we don't want Dak Prescott. I don't understand why all these fans want to take on a $60 million contract. I honestly don't. Look at the bridges that we got. Aaron Rodgers is 40 million. Sam Darnold finna be 30, 40 million. Derek Carr ain't taking a pay cut. Like, why we gotta have this conversation again? I feel like every day we gotta have this conversation, and then you go back and look at the draft picks that the Titans have taken. Titan fans get hot off of talking about Jake Locker. Jake Locker was a college safety on the Washington Huskies that had a broke arm and a cast, and we drafted him as a first-round quarterback. That's completely different than taking Cam Ward or Shedeur, guys that came into bad situations. Colorado was like a perennial program. Miami was a perennial program in the 90s. They came back and took these franchises and take them almost to the brink of the playoffs in a short period of time. We not getting that. This ain't reaching down and trading up in the second round for Will Levis after he fell from grace out the first round and we just picked him because we felt like it was value there. This ain't getting Malik Willis in the third round, a first round graded quarterback. Him and Desmond Ridder fell into oblivion. We drafted him and put him in 12 personnel when he been playing in shotgun his whole life. It ain't that. This is getting a premier QB in a league that you need a premier QB. Now, we're going to spin this narrative when they talk about Mariota. The Titans roster that had Derrick Henry, that had A.J. Brown, that had Jeffrey Simmons, that roster was built around Mariota. He got a neck stinger in the Washington game, if y'all remember it. He got hurt really bad. They were saying that the doctors were saying he was cleared. His doctors were saying he wasn't cleared. Fan base got frustrated and they just grown up. And they brought in Tannehill, and Tannehill came in and solidified what was already there. They added to it. Tannehill did nothing in the playoffs on that AFC Championship run. 80 yards passing against the Ravens, 80 yards passing against the Patriots. Fumbled the ball 2 times and almost cost us that game anyways. If it wasn't for Logan Ryan and the defense just going crazy at the end of the game, wouldn't have made that. Less than 200 yards passing in the Chiefs game. Derrick Henry threw a touchdown in that game to offensive lineman. So if you just go back and look, anytime that the Tennessee Titans or any of these franchises that suffer get better, it's because you get the QB and you build around them. Let's look around the league. Bo Nix, they crazy for taking him in there. They built around Bo Nix. The Commanders going to be on a long rebuild. They got Jaden Daniels. They built around him there. Like, you have to get the QB to build around. I don't think you build this perfect team and then you get to go draft your QB. It don't work that way. Like, jobs are getting taken. Mike Vrabel get to go in knowing he got Drake May, and the Patriots game plan is to build around Drake May. And guess what? If Drake May don't elevate to what you would think out of a top 10 quarterback pick, he's a rookie deal. He costs you nothing. You're going to cut like $3 or $4 or $5 million off a contract and move on. Like, that's like the 49ers did. They went to the Super Bowl with Garoppolo, drafted Trey Lance, went to the NFC Championship, lost to the Rams, but they still kept drafting. Now you get to draft for Brock Purdy.
Let me teach you how to
And
buy.
people start talking about Tom Brady. They had Bledsoe when they drafted Tom Brady. Bledsoe was one of the better QBs in the league. Only time you're able to get somebody like that and let them sit is when the team is already good. But that's what good franchises do, right? It's just frustrating to see that people don't understand. The free agents don't show up, and the old stars that are there, the veterans, don't stay. They won't out when they don't see the vision of trying to win.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Silly, you crazy. Mad Titan, we got to. Like, the Bears got promised and can get people to sign in free agent because you got Caleb Williams, because you're trying to win. You're drafting somebody. You're actively trying to win. Like, I just don't see a situation like the Falcons. Once they move Kirk Cousins out the way and people see Michael Penix and the young stars that they got, you're going to build around Michael Penix. The Vikings probably going to let Sam Darnold walk. McCarthy's probably the guy. If they smart, they'll sign Danny Dimes, the guy that beat the Vikings in the playoffs the last time they was there, as your backup. Maybe McCarthy can elevate them past where Sam Darnold got them. I just don't understand this weird concept of let's build a good, like, how good a team can the Titans build without a QB? Every year you're gonna get your head kicked in by the Texans. If the Colts figure out they quarterback situation, whether it's Anthony Richardson or somebody else, the Colts will beat us like they always used to. The Jaguars are down bad. They down there with us. They got to get a coach. Trevor Lawrence getting $276 million. If they find a way to get from out from under them quarterbacks and figure out the direction they want to go in before us, it'll be sad. I just don't see a team in the league that has this team that's built so good that they don't need a quarterback, that we're going to just build for the future. In 2 years, we're going to be good. In 2 years, the GM going to be fired that we about to hire. The coach going to be fired. Chad Brinker gonna be fired. Amy may even sell the team. Who knows what's gonna happen in 2-3 years if we don't start trying to win. Like, and it starts with, who's my signal caller? Who's the person that's touching the ball every position? Go out and waste your first round draft pick on Isaiah Wilson. Go waste your first round draft pick on Caleb Farley. Make the team better with players. A guy that took 7 snaps and went to jail. Caleb Farley, great guy, stayed injured, never played. Go out and make the team better by getting a first-round wide receiver. Get Treylon Burks. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the history of the players that we taking when we're trying to make the team better with talent. When you don't get nobody that when you don't have a QB, like, what are we doing? We can have the best line on earth. We got the best receivers, best defense. If we don't have a QB that the team believes in, and I'm saying, if that defense look up and see a Cam Ward or a Shedeur Sanders making plays, like when Jaden Daniels scramble and pick up an extra first down, the defense go out and fight for them. When Jeffrey Simmons say that we don't play complimentary football, watching a team that can't score 30 points in 3 years is sad. Like, what do you have to fight for on defense? Like, you the Rams, you fighting to give Stafford the ball back. You the Chiefs, you fighting to give Mahomes the ball back. You the Ravens, you fighting to give it back to Lamar and Derrick Henry. If you the Bills, you fighting, I want to give Josh Allen the ball. He finna cook. What happened with the Texans when they got C.J. Stroud, the guy that's supposed to be too stupid to play quarterback? Get him the football, he make plays. Like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And for the Dallas Cowboys, look me in my eyes when I told y'all need to go get Pete Carroll. You need somebody that when Jerry Jones come down, that he gonna chew that gum, pat him on the back, and say, "All right, then get back in there with that whiskey in that press box and let us handle business." Because I think Mike McCarthy will be a fine coach anywhere else. I think if he go to the Bears, or he go to the Raiders, or he go to the Jets, or he go to the Jaguars, Mike McCarthy will be fine. I just don't think he'll be fine. Like, Dallas Cowboys is just like what Troy Aikman said, is a hard place to coach because there's so much other stuff going on that's like non-football related that makes it hard to focus. It's like you can't see the forest for the trees. And then, like, too, it'd be so frustrating watching the things that people say when people talk about some of the draft picks we've taken before. In the history of the Tennessee Titans, the only time the Titans have been relevant is when we drafted Steve McNair, when we drafted Vince Young, when we drafted Marcus Mariota. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the only times that we've been relevant. When we drafted somebody that somebody said, yo, the Titans got Mariota. Yo, the Titans got Vince Young. Yo, the Titans got Steve McNair. Like, yeah, those are the only times that we've been relevant because it generated enough interest in the world of football that you could build something around it. You can't build around Will Levis or Mason Rudolph. You can't build around Carr. You can't build around old Cousins. You can't build around Aaron Rodgers. Like, look what these The QBs that y'all want to come in, look what they playing with now and can't win. Donald got Jay Jettis. You can't win with the best receiver in the league. What you can win with? Carr had Alvin Kamara, Shaheed, Olave, Taysom Hill. Like, they had a lot down there built around him. And when he was on the Raiders, he had Renfro, Devontae Adams. He had what's the tight end that's on the Giants that retired? He had him in his prime with Josh Jacobs. Kirk Cousins just had the world. You got Algiers and Bijan Robinson. You got Drake London. You got Pitts. You got, like, bro, like, they traded in and got talent. And before that, he had even more talent in Minnesota when they still had
Let me teach you how to vibe.
when they still had a healthy Dalvin Cook and Thielen and Hawkinson and all them. Like, look at these QBs that they want to come in and bridge. That's why I say the only available bridge that makes sense is if you get Daniel Jones for under $10 million. You could just say he was on a team that didn't have nothing and expected to do a lot. He ain't worth $40 million, but he worth 10. You know what I'm saying? We'll give him 10 to come in and bridge behind Cam Ward or Shador. Like, Aaron Rodgers just had Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard, Breece Hall, a new line. Like, what the Jets didn't have for him to not succeed. But you think they finna come to Nashville and play ball. And you gonna pay them $30-40 million. It's just crazy. Dak Prescott can't do it with CeeDee Lamb. Like, what he gonna do it with Jaquan Jackson? Darren Waller was a name I was thinking about, couldn't think of. That's when Darren Waller was healthy. Appreciate that, Driller, Adreezy. That's how my mind drew a blank. But I'm saying, like, you're gonna take people off of talented offensive teams, bring them to Nashville to rebuild with less. Like, you name those guys and put them in Nashville, we win 2 more games. Like, give me somebody young that's gonna rejuvenate. And see, the Broncos is a perfect situation. You let Jerry Jeudy go, you let Simmons go, you let Names go, you let Russell Wilson go, and you bring in young guys, and then you get your Mims and your Williamses and your new guys and then you get your stars become Surtain. People like that get to really shine. Like, you got to clear it out at some point.
Let me teach you how to
It's
vibe.
like, if a good coach go to the Jets, send Tay Adams off, send Lazard off, send Aaron Rodgers off, and free up some money. You could go in the draft and get right. They defense is fire and got a lot of stars. Quentin Williams' brother, Sauce Gardner. Like, you got players. Offense, you got 2 good running backs. You build around Garrett Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Like, it won't take long because the Dolphins is trending down and the Patriots is, like, rebuilding right with you, and the Patriots need a little bit more. But if you the Patriots, if you free up some cap, go take T-Mac out of Arizona. And then that offense is nasty with Drake May, with T-Mac. Like, bro, I mean, you just got to think in that terms. Like, this whole thought process, the teams is going to bring in somebody who've never won in their career. None of these bridges have ever even won playoff games. Like, these guys ain't even won playoff games. Like, in a 10-year span, like, they may got 1 playoff win under their belt. And you thinking this is the stable veteran that's going to solidify the Titans. No, the Titans was good with Mariota. He couldn't stay healthy, and Tannehill came in and righted the ship. But Tannehill could not win and do anything in those bright moments. That wasn't, like, he wasn't able to elevate. So that's why you finally move on from Tannehill. Before you get any of these guys, just call Tannehill back and say, we want somebody to come in and be and play average football. Call Tannehill back before you do that. Call him back. We don't want Kirk Cousins, sir. What the Browns do with that pick the quarterback the Titans don't pick. Bro, if I'm the Cleveland Browns and I'm sitting there too, and the Tennessee Titans decide they don't want Shador or Cam Ward, I'm going to have a party. Browns is another team. Browns can draft, like, let's say they get Cam Ward at 2. We know that Deshaun Watson is now done with football, more than likely. If I'm the Browns, I take Cam Ward at 2. I go to Myles Garrett and say, hey, bro, I appreciate everything you done. We sorry. I'm shipping Myles Garrett off, and I'm gonna get a high level draft pick back for Myles Garrett, and I'm gonna have Jerry Jeudy. I'm gonna say Nick Chubb, we appreciate your service. I'm gonna get like Ollie Gordon or somebody in about the third, Scatterbo somebody, and we're gonna build us around Cam Ward and Jerry Jeudy and Njoku. You can't tell me that Cam Ward ain't gonna play better than Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston and DTR. They going up wins in that division. I don't care. They're gonna go up. Like the teams that seem so bad is not really that bad. The Raiders should do the same thing. Max Crosby, man, we appreciate everything you've been able to do in Las Vegas. But we looked around, got one of these quarterbacks. We finna ship you off and we finna reload. If Myles Garrett, Jeffrey Simmons, Max Crosby, Quentin Williams, all these guys, you name them, they stay on these teams with no QB, getting these overpaid ass bridges. They're gonna be picking in the top 5 or top 10 for the next 5 years. Said they're not trading Myles Garrett. It looked like he want to go. When somebody want to go, you got to move him. VR, what up? Like, if anybody know him, I want to go look at Derrick Henry right in his eyes, pause, shake his hand, and say, thank you for making Tennessee Titan football enjoyable for me for the last decade. Even when we was bad or we was good, whatever, you made me appreciate watching Tennessee Titan football on Sunday because I know you're going to give it everything you had. You deserve to be able to go to Baltimore and run for 2,000 yards and stiff arm safeties into the bleachers and run the ball 15 times a game and preserve your body playing with a good team. You deserve that. It's going to be the same when Myles Garrett get on a playoff team and you get to see him wreck in the playoffs like Von Miller when he went to the Rams. Max Crosby, Jeffrey Simmons. When you see a really good player get on a playoff team and go crazy, it's something good to see. You can't tell, like, all them years that Odell was on Cleveland and they were saying he was the problem. Then he went over to the Rams and got in the Super Bowl. When you seen them tears, like, that was real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate getting to see a great player get on a good team and get a chance to ball in the postseason. Like, these guys been playing meaningless football for the last handful of years. Like, they've won a career of being one of the best at their position that don't get to sniff the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a sad situation. So, like, I'm man enough to say I'm a big fan, but if Jeffrey Simmons wanna wind up on the Commanders or wind up on one of these rising teams, not get to see him in the postseason spin move and RKO the quarterback on third down, like, and get up and do his celebration like he deserved to get to do that. He shouldn't be there with the number 2 statistical defense for 11, 12 weeks into the season. They had a top rated statistical defense watching a team that can't score 20 points with a pencil. Our quarterbacks led the league in turnovers. Mason Rudolph, Will Levis led the league in turnovers at the quarterback position. Do you know who number 2 was? Humor me. The Cleveland Browns. The 2 teams that's picking 1 and 2 at the QB position had the most turnovers of any other team in the NFL. But somehow these people that think they know everything in the media, everything on Twitter, all these people going to sit here and try to convince y'all that the Titans and the Browns don't need to take Shador and Cam Ward. And they're going to try to sell you on Jake Locker or Kenny Pickett. Like, we not talking about a safety that played a quarterback that played safety his senior year of college because he had a cast on his arm. We not talking about a dude with hands so small he got to wear sticky gloves to throw the football. We talking about two guys that went places where, man, Shedeur can't play football. He playing in the SWAC. Man, Shedeur can't play football at D1 when he go to Colorado. Okay, like they were in contention for their conference championship. They took a one-loss team in 2 years, and because guys like him are there, they can elevate. Then you say, it was more than just him. Well, guess what? When you see Shedeur roll up, throwing the rollies up, people want to transfer in. When you get to Miami, and Miami ain't been nothing since the early 2000s, and you get Cam Ward that get them up in contention, just being there in a short period of time, you got to think, what would a player like that do to the energy level? Like a real, like in their head winner would do to a program like the Titans, like the Browns, like the Jets, like the Raiders, like the Giants. And you just look at the numbers, 12 out of 14 teams in the playoff got a first round draft pick. And who's the other two people? Russell Wilson, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts probably get drafted higher if everybody don't spread the narrative that they think he's a running back. Russell Wilson's too small. 2 Super Bowls. I'm being serious. So when you have news people saying, man, we didn't see Jeffrey Simmons playing hard on this snap against the Commanders, you down 20, you getting double teamed the whole season. At some point, you'll get frustrated if you got practice squad linebackers playing behind you on the Colts. No disrespect to Cedric Gray and James Williams, because those was guys selected in the 6th and 7th round. James Williams was a safety converted to play linebacker, and Cedric Gray missed almost the entire season. But when you got guys that, if everybody was healthy, would be on the practice squad playing against the Colts, a team that threw the ball 8 times in a division game, yeah, you probably get 300 yards ran on you because they're gonna run duo the whole game, and Sweat and Simmons gonna get double teamed, and they're gonna allow the linebackers and safeties to run free the whole game. So yeah, I might get tired if I'm Myles Garrett, if I get tired of getting double teamed, or if I'm Max Crosby, I get tired of getting double teamed. Quentin Williams tired of getting double teamed. And you look at the scoreboard and you down 10, 15, 20 points every Sunday. Like you kind of like lose your willpower to get out there and go crazy. Myles Garrett in Detroit. Yeah, Keith, we can talk about that. It's some people that won't say it, and RJ said it, and people got they panties got in a bunch. He said the same people that don't want Ward and Shedeur. Go look what they say about Lamar Jackson. It's the same people that say Lamar Jackson a running back. Even though the entire league is filled up with mobile quarterbacks. What does a mobile quarterback do when you got a right tackle that ain't that good? Like NPF, Leroy Watson, or John Ojukwu. Kalijah Kancey was in the backfield the whole game for the Bucs against the Commanders. On the last play, what happened? He killed the right tackle, got in the backfield, and Jaden Daniels looked him off and sidestepped him and took off running and got the first down. When you got a QB that know how to move in the pocket, or that's mobile, or that's actually good, you're not talking about your right tackle the whole game. Because a lot of the sacks that Will Levis and Mason Rudolph got is because Mason Rudolph is a statue and can't move. I done showed y'all on tape. Will Levis can actually move, but he got bad pocket presence. Sometimes he floats in the sacks by not knowing how to move in the pocket. Like just a natural tendency to float. Like when you see somebody that's like a nervous passer on Madden and they always move back to the left, they always move straight back. Then you see Henry play, he take the snap and stand straight in the pocket and don't move for a half second before he started moving in the pocket. It's like having a quarterback that hit right trigger as soon as they take the snap. Like we're not talking about our right side of our line if we got a decent quarterback. Just Keith, the truth of the matter is, it's some Titan fans that didn't want Will Levis because he played at Kentucky. They that petty. So you can't make me believe. I've been watching y'all on Twitter all year talk about Deion, talk about Shedeur, talk about Cam Ward. Even though Cam Ward coaching came out and said that's bullshit about him quitting on the team. All these things they got in their head is Caleb Williams got his nails painted. Jaden Daniels is too skinny. Michael Penix got a do-rag on. He got injury issues and a history of injuries, but you want a $50 million quarterback that just came off a major surgery at 36 going on 37. Come on, man. Like, just go over the history. These teams be like, I don't like to do the black and white thing because it's too easy to debate, but it is some people that won't admit that they got their biases. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's not like I'm talking about one person in specific. It's just to say, like, think about the quarterbacks that have elevated the Tennessee Titans to make people want to watch. Warren Moon, Steve McNair, Vince Young, Marcus Mariota. You need somebody that's a playmaker, man. That makes me want to watch on Sunday. I don't want to watch Mason Rudolph. He ran a 5.0 40. I mean, Keith, the mobile quarterback, it ain't that they just go off script. It's the fact that those edge rushers that's pinning their ears back because they going to a stationary target are told pregame, I mean, if you rush too far upfield on Lamar, he going to step up and be gone. You rush too far up on Burrow. Burrow had a 40, 50-yard touchdown run this season. Patrick Mahomes, he'll step up in the pocket and then move out if you rush too far. You will see Patrick Mahomes run up to the line of scrimmage and then bail left or right, looking around, buying time to throw the football. Josh Allen, right tackle, run up field too far. Where is he going to do? He going to sidestep and be gone. Like, it helps out that weak side of your line. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a person like Colts game, they didn't get a single sack, hardly any pressures. We still barely had 100 yards passing because our QBs don't have pocket presence. If you're going to have somebody that's a statue in the pocket, it's got to be Peyton Manning. It's got to be Brady. If you ain't got Peyton Manning or Brady back there, which people like that don't even exist no more, Burrow is probably the closest thing to it. You got to get you a Mahomes. You need a Josh Allen. You need a Lamar. You need a Jalen Hurts. Goff is probably the only other one. And he playing on the offense that's got people everywhere. And a great line. So it's like, you don't got the Lions line or the Eagles line. You know what I'm saying? Most teams ain't going to be able to have it. Go get you somebody that can make plays. No, I talked about Jake Locker a second ago. See, I didn't have to say his name if you a Titan fan when I said the first round QB that played safety his last year at college because he had a broken arm and a cast. Like, I'm not, like, people bring that up like that's the Titans' fault for drafting Jake Locker. Like, why on earth would you draft somebody that played safety their last year in college? Like, people, they were so hype off him being an athlete. If they drafted Jake Locker as safety, I wouldn't have been mad. They drafted Jake Locker at and he was a former safety. Now, since people want to be funny, let's pull it up. 2011 draft. Cam Newton was the first overall pick. Von Miller, Marcel Darius, AJ Green, Pat Peterson, Julio Jones, Alden Smith. We took Jake Locker. There was Tyron Smith, Blaine Gabbert, J.J. Watt, Christian Ponder, Nick Fairley, Robert Quinn, the Pouncey brothers, Ryan Kerrigan, Nate Solder, Corey Leggett, Prince of Mukamara, Adrian Claiborne, Phil Taylor, Costanzo, Danny Watkins, Cam Jordan, James Carpenter, Jonathan Baldwin, Jimmy Smith, Mark Ingram, Gabe Karimi, Muhammad Wilkerson, Cam Hayward, Derek Sherrod. Ain't nobody tell them to take no safety that played the quarterback that played safety in college. And for people that don't believe that, you go back and look at his college stats. Go back and look at his college stats. His last year, they put the asterisk because he got hurt and moved to safety that year. 55% passing completion percentage, 2,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 9 picks. Ain't nobody telling you to pick. Ain't nobody telling you to pick that. Ain't nobody comparing Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward to Jake Locker. 2,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, 9 picks, and 55%. Like, why would you draft a quarterback that had 55% completion percentage in college? Like what is that? That'd be the killing part. And then we got to sit here and listen to somebody talk about Cam Ward and Shedeur. $4,300 yards, 39 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Completion percentage, 67% completion percentage. Now we comparing Jake Locker to that. We comparing Jake Locker to that. We go back to his first season with 60%, 2,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 4 picks. We can go back to his first season. Shedeur Sanders, 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 picks. 74% completion percentage, 37 touchdowns, 10 picks. We comparing this to Jake Locker? We comparing this to Jake Locker, bro? That's why I'm not buying it. You can't sit here and listen to these guys on the internet tell you, like, try to devalue the position that Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders is. They're trying to make these guys make y'all think these guys are some bums or something. And then we drafted a quarterback that had 2,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 9 picks and played safety his last year. Dude had 55% completion percentage, and we drafted him at number 8 overall. And now they trying to tell you because we took him. But they don't talk about, like, hey, let's trade back and get right tackle so we can get Isaiah Wilson. 7 snaps in a Tennessee Titan uniform before going to jail. Another Caleb Farley. I'm not saying that Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter will be that, but I think if you brought Travis Hunter in without a QB, I think he'd be just as frustrated as D Hop was, and just as frustrated as Calvin Ridley was. Do you remember last year starting the season with D Hop and Calvin Ridley, 2,000-yard receivers playing for the Tennessee Titans? Do you realize there was never a game where they both had a catch? Before the trade, after the trade, Calvin Ridley hit 1,000 yards on the season. Imagine if Calvin Ridley had if he had Shedeur Cam Ward throwing him the football. He's probably 1,500 yards this season. So many times he running butt naked, they just couldn't get him the football. I don't understand like this process of watching this fan base try to find every reason to go after one of these expensive bridge quarterbacks so we can be in the middle of the pack with a losing record, drafting in the top 10 again next season. Like at least give hope that we got somebody that we could build around for the future that could be the face of the franchise. Because Burrow first year wasn't good. Sometimes people first year, like Caleb Williams might have a breakout year next year. Bryce Young looked better after they benched him and brought him back. 5 touchdown passes in the game to get a Panthers fan base like, okay, like if we put the right things around this kid, he really can play ball. He just had to shake off that first year of realizing how bad the franchise he played for was. Man, Travis Hunter be going off on Will Levis. Mad Titan, bro. When we looked at the tape, when you see Shedeur Sanders set his feet, footwork in the pocket and turn the ball loose, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, bro. Because, like, people try to make the Titan roster so bad. I'm telling you, if Shedeur come in with 1,000-yard runner and Tajay Spears in the backfield with Calvin Ridley and Chig Okonkwo at tight end is really got some speed. You re-sign Nick Westbrook and go get another receiver in the draft. Got free agent, you got cap room, bring in somebody. Like you're gonna see a different part of the offense. Like we have quarterbacks that don't know on 3rd and 15, drop it to the running back and let him get 10 yards. Don't throw a pick or take a sack. Like I would say half the sacks they took, somebody's wide open that they could check it down to and get them a chance to make a play. Like that's how a lot of our turnovers happen, by them holding the ball looking for a 40-yard pass to come open. So if you look at that, or if you look at at some of the teams that's out here, like these teams ain't as bad as they look. You just gotta get the QB, man. You got some all 22 for me to break down, send it to me, and we'll do a whole stream on it. But with this shop talk, I really want to address that because I was getting pissed off seeing people talk about trying to make the roster better. But if you go roster better and another quarterback that we believe in ain't on the roster, Jeffrey Simmons, Amani Hooker, Harold Landry, Calvin Ridley, hey, can I leave? Teacher, can I go to the bathroom? You're just going to start getting that. And then there's that. Like, our fan base is so snooty when they shouldn't be. What player really is saying, like, my destination is to play on the Titans? Most people be like, well, I'm here now, man. So, I mean, even Jerome Baker, we got him over here when he tried out for us in the summer. He didn't want to be here. He wanted to go play on the Seahawks. Like, it's a lot of guys we missed on in the offseason because they don't want to come to Nashville. And our fan base has this arrogance about them that, like, somebody is lucky to be playing. Well, if Jeffrey Simmons doesn't want to be here, like, no, you should be dying to have a player like Jeffrey Simmons on your roster. Well, if Derrick Henry is wanting to be out, just let him go. Okay, like, Derrick Henry is a leader of men wherever he go. And he put on by example. Like, that's how our fan base is. Well, I don't know. I don't really see D-Hop. I don't know how much he has left after last year. Did he go to the Chiefs to get the number 1 seed? Make some crazy plays when he first got there. Been making plays ever since. Sure hands, get open and catch the ball and win ones. That's how our fan base is. And for all our little arrogant fans, Danico Autry, Aziz, Malik Willis, Khalif Raymond on the Lions. The revenge tour was rough this year. The Chargers, Christian Fulton, Elijah Molden. And we let Molden go to bring in Jamal Adams. That's crazy. Bud Dupree. Tier Tart. Well, Tier Tart had little attitude issues and stuff, but like I could see that. But Hassan Haskins. We kept Chestnut over Haskins and then gave, like, bro, that's just, I don't know. You go back and look at all this revenge tours of everybody leaving and getting better. We don't even got to mention AJ Brown and Julio, not Julio, but Derrick Henry. Like, even look at a person like when you're looking for a bridge like Mariota. Look at what Mariota is doing leadership wise with Jaden Daniels. See, that's a bridge. Somebody that's been at the top of the game, somebody that was an incredible athlete, Heisman caliber player, you know, a guy that's done won playoff games, a guy that was drafted to rebuild the Titans, can sit there and say, you know what, this is my role is to help this young guy achieve his potential. That's a bridge. A bridge ain't one of these guys that's still trying to get their first playoff win in their career and they've been in the league 10, 15 years. That ain't a bridge. I think Cortland Finnegan, Andre Johnson. Cortland Finnegan was a dog, though. I just feel the Titans gotta get in that direction. Like, Chronic fan, you a Bears fan. Y'all drafted Caleb Williams. Y'all didn't cower out of the position. Y'all brought in Swift. You brought in Keenan Allen. You brought in Rome Odunze, Montez Sweat. You bring some people in, like, it give you a reason to watch on Sundays. Whether they have a bad stretch or not, you can still look and say, man, Caleb Williams ain't the reason why we losing football games. Like the Panthers, when you see the turnaround from Bryce Young, they say, okay, we got something to build around now. And it wasn't the name guys, it's some of the young guys stepping up that want to emerge as a star. Like the Vikings. Sam Darnold was their bridge. They got lucky. Now they let Sam Darnold walk. They get to see what their rookie look like. They get to see if he can elevate them further. They know what they can do with a bridge. Win games, make the playoffs, and get bounced in the first round. And get smoked at that. Now, the way Sam Darnold played in that game, the way Kirk Cousins played every time he got to the playoffs, or Prescott, or Tannehill, or Carr, or any of these guys, make you think, I'd much rather see what a young kid could do in the playoffs, getting his shine, than some of these old guys we kind of know what we going to get out of them. That's why I say the Steelers put Russell Wilson in, let Justin Fields walk in there and draft you somebody. It didn't work with Kenny Pickett. But just because Kenny Pickett didn't work, don't stop drafting your guy. Because it's different if you the Rams and you got Matt Stafford, or you the Steelers and you got Russell Wilson, guys who have won Super Bowls. It's different when you say you want to trade out of a spot to go get a star. These guys, are you talking about guys that ain't never won a playoff game? Y'all be having them up on a pedestal. Like it's some it's gonna make me excited to watch the Titans next year if Derek Carr is the quarterback. No. That's not gonna make me excited. It's gonna make me not care. Like that ain't Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins. Like none of them guys is gonna put asses in the stands in Nissan Stadium next season. None of them guys is gonna put asses in the stadium. You know what's gonna put asses in the stadium? Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, preferably Shedeur.